Hello everyone. In this video we are going to try to implement TF-IDF from scratch. Now the idea of this video is to learn the inner workings of the vectorizer, especially TF-IDF, which we are going to do in this video, and in some other video and later videos I might implement some other vectorizers as well from sklearn or from other packages such as Gensim. Now, before I actually start with the coding aspect, I want to talk about some of the terminology and some of the concepts that I find it would be useful for you to know. Okay, so the first concept is the concept of corpus. Now, corpus, and I think before even explaining the corpus, I think I should explain what is a piece of document. A piece of document can be anything, and as the name suggests, it is a text. Okay, now this text word is a relative term, okay, and it depends on how you define your document in relation to the problem you are trying to solve. Suppose you want to build a search system over your tweets, then in that case a document will be one tweet. Whereas if your use case is building a search system over your documents, then one document is your you can say one document. Okay, now corpus is just collection of documents. Okay, so you can think of a document class and corpus would be a list of documents. Okay, so this is what we are referring to when we are saying corpus, and it is a relative term. So for example, in a system where you want to build a maybe a system where users can search within a book, now in that case chapters can become one document. Okay, chapter can, and then we can have a list of chapters as my corpus. Okay, you get the idea that document and corpus is something that depends on the use case that we are dealing with. Now the way to build a search system, because I like to think about vectorizer, and I feel that thinking about vectorizer goes well with thinking about a search system problem. Okay, so vectorizer can be, what I am trying to say is vectorizer can be understood best with a search system analogy. Now if I have to build a search system, what I want to do is, because computers don't understand text as raw text, what we want to do is we want to somehow turn these into numerical form. So what we do is we turn a document into a vector. So what we have is, then we can write our corpus as list of vectors, and then things get easier. When we have a list of vectors, a search system is basically searching over that vector, and that becomes easier thanks to mathematics. We take a vector, we take a query vector, and we compute distance from all the vectors in list of vectors. Okay, I'm typing out this, but you can speed up this video. I hope, because I want to clear out these confusions, so that once we start into the coding aspect, everything becomes clear and nobody is left behind. Okay, so now what I have done is, here I have already imported NumPy, although NumPy was not required, and I was thinking whether I should be doing this without NumPy or with NumPy. But I feel without NumPy it would have been a lot longer, because I would have to implement a lot of nitty-gritties, and I feel NumPy should be used. Okay, so what I have done is I prepared this corpus, which is basically a collection of sentences, and here I would call them as collection of documents. Now I want to basically vectorize these using TF-IDF, and that I can do using sklearn's TF-IDF vectorizer, or I can implement this from scratch, and that is what I'm trying to do here. Alright, so what is the first step? So let's define our steps. So step 1 would be to build the vocabulary. And the reason we are doing that is, what we want to do is we want to find out all the unique words which are used in this entire corpus. What will happen is, let's say I get 20 unique words, then my vector vector will be of dimension, my vector will be of dimension 20, which means I will have a 20 numbers once I am done with this whole process. So maybe something like 0.4, 0, 0 and so on. Okay, and lot of entries will be 0, and I'll tell you why a lot of entries will be 0 in a moment. Step 2. After building the vocab, we have to build a TF matrix. Now TF matrix stands for term frequency matrix. Now it is a very simple matrix. What we do is we take our corpus and we prepare a term frequency for each of my document. The way it will work is this. This is how it will work. So let's say I am trying to build the term frequency matrix. What will be the first row? So this is my matrix, and this is my first row, this is my second row, and this is my third row, and this is my fourth row. Okay, now there are 4 sentences. Each of these sentences will have some bunch of entries. Now how many entries will I have? I have 20 entries. Why 20 entries? Because I have 20 unique words. So what I will do is I will initially keep all of these as 0, because most of these will be 0. Next, what I'll do is I'll try to look at each word within my current document, and I'll look at what is the index of that word within my 20 unique word. So let's say that within that 20 unique word, it comes at second position. Then in that case, what I'll do is I'll simply add the count 1. Okay. Then sky. Suppose sky exists in third position. Then I will add this count as well. And then I'll do this for the entire sentence. And then I'll move to the second sentence, second document. And similarly, I'll do the same with this as well. Now notice here, the exists in second sentence as well. And I assume that this the exists at second sentence, second index. So in that case, 1 will append here as well. So you get the idea, right? So I'll just comment it out now. And if let's say a document contains multiple occurrences of the, then it will be, let's say 2 occurrences would mean 2 will come here. I hope it makes sense. After building this term frequency, next we will build a IDF matrix. Now IDF is not a matrix actually. It is basically, you can think of this as for each word we try to compute its rarity. Rarity. How rare that word is throughout the corpus. Now notice here, this particular matrix or vector, whatever you can call it, this word, this is not dependent upon the current document. Whereas the term frequency for each word, the term frequency would depend on the current document that we are dealing with. It would basically compute the rarity index, that is IDF, for each of the word which are there in our vocab. Okay. Now how will I compute that? That formula looks scary. Let me show you. TF-IDF formula. TF-IDF formula. That formula might look scary, but let me explain you the rationale behind that. So this is the formula that we are dealing with here. So notice here, forget log for now here. The only thing that you should focus on is n and df of x. What does these two mean? So what we do is we take total number of documents, which means 4 here in our case. We divide this by total number of documents with word, let's say t, and what we get is we get a IDF value for the t. Now what is t? T is a word. So take any word t. So for example, t can be sky. So the IDF value of sky will be total number of documents, which means so IDF value of sky would be total number of documents. How many documents? 4. It will always remain same. And how many times sky comes in? How many documents sky is present? So 2 is the document, which means IDF value is 2. Now currently I am not assuming the log part. The only thing, so log does some sort of normalization and all, you should not worry about that. Okay. Alright. I hope IDF makes sense. Now in this manner we compute the IDF value for all the words which are there in the unique vocab. So you can think of this as we compute IDF of sky, IDF of the. Now notice here what happens when I compute the IDF of the. Now the exists in all the documents, which means it would basically be computed as 4 by 4, which is basically 1. You notice this IDF of sky is larger than IDF of the. What does that mean? That means sky is more important word than the. The is very common word, so you can think of as this as common word, and it's very rare word. And a rare word is more important for us because that basically determines the quality of our search system, and that determines the basically. So in past days we used to build this classification model based on spam classification models, and in that case, if my tweet contains a negative word and that negative word might not be present in the entire corpus, so in that situation we say that that negative word is a very rare word and it has the potential to to make a given document as positive or negative. Okay, I hope it makes sense, right? Okay, so now we compute IDF value for all the words. Okay, this is how we do. Now, why do we take log? Again, that is something you should not worry about. That is done to make some sort of normalization process. Now, also one more thing, there can be a situation where this a particular word is not there in any of the document. Then in that case, the denominator will be 0. So to take care of that, what we usually do is we add 1. So if let's say this is 0, then we don't have a situation of divide by 0. I hope it makes sense. So we usually in the formula we add this by 1 just to avoid the situation of dividing by 0. Finally, we compute a TF IDF matrix. Now, what is this matrix? This matrix is just like this. Basically, each row is corresponding to each document. So what I have is this. So what I do is I take my term frequency matrix, this, and I multiply that with the IDF. So the way I do this is, so I have an IDF value for this word, right? So what I'll do is I'll take this entry and I'll take the IDF of this word, because this index corresponds to a unique word, right? Because I told you that each row has 20 entries and 20 entries corresponds to these 20 vocab, so 20 words in vocab. So what we do is we multiply it by IDF value, and what the result that we get is we call it as TF IDF, and we do this for all the words. So we simply take my term frequency and for each word. So for example, this was for sky. Now I will take my IDF value for sky and I'll just multiply it. So 0 and then 2 multiplied by 1, which means 2, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this process will be repeated for all the documents, and finally what we will have after this process is complete is TF IDF matrix. Now you need to understand this process because see, before you implement anything, before you actually jump to the coding part, it is very important and vital that you actually understand and ingrain this process thoroughly within your mind. Okay, and then you are in a much better position to actually start coding the process. Okay, let's now start with the coding part. Now first step is building the vocab. So I'll take my corpus and I'll build the vocab. So how can I build the vocab? So what I can do is I can loop through my sentences, or maybe I should say documents. So for doc in my corpus, let's try to print doc for now. Let's build it step by step. So I can see my doc, right? Now let me split my doc on space. Although in packages like sklearn or some advanced machine learning and vectorization packages, this process of splitting this document into tokens is a much more involved process, and a separate video can be made just to explain this part. But for now, I am keeping this very simple, and I am assuming that this split is going to happen on space. So if I print this, you will see all the words are appearing here. Now you see this, that multiple words are appearing. You can say in multiple sentences, multiple documents, which means we need to have some sort of deduplication process. Okay, now the way to do this deduplication by default in Python is using set. Okay, so rather than using list, we can use set. So now what we can do is we can loop through word. So for word in doc.split, I can simply print my word. So I'm able to print all the unique words. Now currently notice that all the words are in smaller case, right? I don't need to think about changing the case of each of my words. So what I can do is I can take my word and I can so for now I can assume that all of these words are already in smaller case. Now I need to append it somewhere. Now how can I append it somewhere? List offers a method to append, but set does not. Set has a different method. So what I'll do is I'll initialize a set, and now I cannot use this kind of initialization, because this initialization defaults to dictionary. So that is why I will have to use set. Then I will do vocab. One second. Vocab dot add, and I'll add the word here. And let's try to print the vocab and see what are we getting. So we are getting this, and I feel this is already sorted. Let me see. Yeah, I think it is already sorted, so I don't need to sort it. So now let me check the length of vocab, and this will tell me the what? It will tell me basically the dimension of my vector. Okay, now let's build the TF matrix, which is term frequency matrix. Now how can I build term frequency matrix? You can build it obviously from scratch. You can also use sklearn's library and packages, but we want to see the process, and we already kind of understand the way it is going to be built. So the way it is going to be built is, let's try to think about a document. So let's say I have a document called first document, which is the sky is blue. And suppose I want to turn this into a vector, the vector that I just talked about. How can I go about it? So first of all, I would like to split these vectors into words. Okay, so I have these words, and then I loop through it. So for word in doc.split, and after looping through it, what do I need to do? I need to basically append this word's frequency. Now how can I do that? That's where NumPy's helper function comes in. So what I'll do is I'll initialize a array with zeros. So what I'll do is I'll do something like, so example vector is equal to np dot zeros, and how many zeros I want to get? Length of vocab. Okay, so now I have an example vector, right? So I have an example vector with how many entries? 12 entries, because 12 are the number which are there in the vocab. Okay, so now that we have this example vector set up, what is the next step that we want to do? I want to loop through these words of the current document that I have, and I want to somehow see that where this word's frequency should come here, and that will be basically that I can understand from vocab. So let's see. So I have a vocab. So given a word, how can I check its index? So I will say vocab dot index, and I will try to get the, okay, so index is not supported. So how can I get the index of, maybe find, one second, vocab dot, so do we have, one second, find elements in set. Okay, so we can use, I need to find the index, right? And how can we do that? Not this. Get index of element in set. Okay, so let's see index. So I know index exists. Oh, I see. I think what they are doing is they are converting, although I don't like this method. Let's use that. So what they are doing is they are converting this into a list. So I'll convert it into a list, and then I can call a index. And that index, let's say, is sky. It will tell me 0. Now let me call it with in. it will tell me 11. Why? One second. I think it has removed the sorted, which is why I was not very so vocab. I wanted to have an index because sets by default they sort it, and what list of vocab did is it has changed the internal order of the so in is now appearing here. So let's do one thing. Let's sort this. So now in is appearing here. So I know it's not a very you can say algorithmic friendly way, but let me use it right now. So now we are getting what we wanted to get, but this is not obviously recommended, but for the sake of understanding and coming back to the topic of the video, I'm just going with this. Okay, so now let me come back to the loop. So for a given word, what I'll do is I'll do current word index. So current word index is equal to this, and this in should be replaced by the word. Now after that, I have an example vector, right? Now what I'll do is I'll take my example vector and I will use this current word index and I'll simply add its frequency. I hope you understand. This is a very beautiful thing. So I'm just adding the current words index, and let me now run this. Now let's look at the example vector. Now you see this 1, 1, 1, 1. So you see dog has 4 words. Da corresponds to 1. How? Because let me check the vocab now. Vocab. Okay, one second. No, not this one. Sorry. I think so first corresponds to blue. First index corresponds to blue. That's why 1. And then second bright is 0. Can is 0. Similarly, in is 0. Whereas is present. That is why is corresponding to is. We have a 1 index 1 frequency. So it is basically an example vector for a term frequency. Okay, I hope you understand this. Now this is a function which will do this process for one document, but I want to do it for all the documents. So I'll create a function. Let me create a function. So I'll do get TF, term frequency, or rather term frequency vector, and it will get a document text, and it will also get a vocab. And what it will do is, let me copy this and let me indent this, and before this let me also move this code here. So what this will do is, it will get an example vector and it will simply return this vector. Although I should probably name it to something more meaningful, but let's go with this. So now get TF, if I use get TF vector with, let's say, my first document and maybe the vocab that we have already defined. So now we are getting this. Now let's use it with the second document. So now we are getting some other TF representation. But I want to get the step 2 was what? Step 2 was build a TF matrix. Okay. So to build a TF matrix, let me delete these redundant cells which we used earlier. Okay, now what I want to do is, I want to loop through my sentences. So for doc in corpus, for each doc, I will call this. Okay. So for each doc, I will call this function doc, and on vocab, and I'll just use list comprehension here to kind of get this matrix. So I'll call this TF matrix. So now let's run this, and if I check my TF matrix, one second. Okay, so we get this array, but this does not look good. That is why we will change it to NP array format. Now we are getting some really wonderful. Now notice a word has 2 frequency. If I look at the document, shining sun. So we have sun, and sun is having 2 frequency. We can check if it corresponds to sun from the vocab. So yes, it does. Okay. So now the next step is to kind of take our so let me store this again into TF matrix. So now that we have this TF matrix set up, next step is to actually build a IDF matrix where we want to solve for this formula. Now let's import math module, because I would need log here. and for each word I want to compute its rarity. Now there are multiple ways to do that. Let me go with the dictionary approach. So what I'll do is, so for word in vocab, and I'll store a IDF dictionary, and this will basically store IDF dictionary, and I will have word and some value. Okay, now how maybe I can define a function called get IDF value, and this IDF value will take a word. So given a word, this function will return a value of IDF. Now let's try to implement this function. Define get IDF value. Now this will take a word. Now what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to find how many documents we have. So I don't want to compute this number of documents thing again and again. So I will create a variable how many documents, which will be length of corpus. Okay, so this is defined. Now I want to find out how many sentences, how many documents contains this word. So how many documents with word. Okay, and I'll initialize it with 0. So I'll loop. So I should probably pass corpus as well here. Okay, so for doc in corpus, for now I am going with simple in based matching. But here you might think that in based matching is not very good. I know, but let's go with that. Okay, so what I'll do is so I'll do if word in doc, I'll just increase this by 1. Okay, and finally I'll return what? I'll return how many documents divided by how many documents with word. Now this might be 0, that is why we will append it with 1. And finally we will wrap this whole thing in math.log. I hope you are following this, because what we are doing is what we discussed here. Okay, so now if I run this and now if I run this as well, and let me pass corpus here. Finally, after this cell is run, we will have IDF values. Okay, notice some values are negative, and I wonder why it is, because what could be the reason? Okay, because of log transformation. I wonder why it is happening like this. 1 second. Maybe because of log, but yeah, so I think this is the process. But I'm something is not right with this IDF value, but we will figure that out. For now, let's assume that this is okay. Okay, now finally, after we are done with this whole thing, we need to compute the TF-IDF matrix. So how are we going to do that? Now I defined here get TF-IDF vector. It took a doc, it took a vocab, and it returned an example vector. Now we have a term frequency. I just want to multiply it with what? So what I can do is I can do something like for array in TF matrix, I can just for now print array. Okay, so we are getting this. Now what I can do is for index and value, I would say term frequency value in, I will enumerate it. I'll enumerate what? I'll enumerate the array, and I'll try to see what is the value of index and TF value. For now, just print this, just kind of this debugging process. Okay, so we are getting this index. Now this index will give us a reference of the word. So let me now use vocab here. So vocab, and let's see this. 1 second. I'm sorry. So list of vocab, and I should probably also use sorted here. So you see this blue bright, and now we are getting the getting this kind of representation. Now what I can do is I can take my TF value and I can multiply it with its corresponding IDF value. Now how will I get IDF for the word? So to get that, I need to understand the word. So this is the word, right? So what I'll do is I'll just place it here, and if I run this, we have these TF-IDF based values. Now after this, I need to again wrap this up in a matrix. So I could possibly initialize a TF-IDF matrix, which could be maybe something like np dot zeros, and this would be having a dimension of what? This would be having a dimension of number of documents, how many documents we have, length of corpus, and length of vocab. Okay, so let's for now print the TF-IDF matrix to kind of see if we are getting the so we are getting the correct results. So now I need to save these results that we are getting, that the value of TF-IDF. To do that, I need to somehow find a way to index it. So to index the document part, I will use maybe something like doc index here, and I'll enumerate this as well. Okay, so now doc index will come here and index will come here, and finally this part will come here. Okay, I'll just initialize it to TF value and multiplied by IDF values. And now if I run this and if I print the TF-IDF matrix, we should be having the correct representation for each of our document. And this basically ends our discussion for today. So what we have learned here? We have learned how to build a vocab and how the length of the vocab actually determines the length of the vector, how to build a term frequency matrix, how to build a, we should not call it matrix, rather IDF lookup maybe, okay, and how finally to compute the TF-IDF matrix. Okay, so with this video, I know there are a lot of things that I feel I have missed in terms of the implementation part, and I feel if I would have gone for a class-based approach, the way sklearn implements it via TF-IDF based vectorizer, I would have avoided many of the difficulties that I was facing. But because that would have made it difficult for some people to understand the concepts that I was teaching, they would have got discouraged because they don't know about, let's say, class. That is why what I did was I created it without any class, or maybe I can create another video where I can try to recreate this TF-IDF based vectorizer from scratch. Okay, so yeah, so I think I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comments your feedback or any kind of suggestions that you might be having for future videos. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a nice day.